So good morning, Christophe. Thanks very much for coming on and talking to us.
Good morning, everyone.
Firstly, could you start off with a little bit about your background in the online marketplaces industry?
Yeah, I have been the CEO of Immoweb for a long time, actually since 2000 to 2016. In 2012, we decided to sell most of our share to Axel Springer, and then I kept working like for 4 years, keep still being shareholder until 2020, I've been right now I'm in some board in the classified industry, on the board of Immoweb, on the board of Immoweb. I'm also in the advisory board of CIAN in Russia, and I attend the board of Sologer every quarter.
Okay, so yeah, some real big names in there, some great insight. And what about your own investments that you're making? I know you have an investment company, Achilles. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so with Achilles, we do investment in small growing company. It's for Grow Capital. We have been invested in 7 companies. We started in 2019, and one of which is Apimo, where we invested last year. As you know, Apimo is a fast-growing software in the industry.
Okay, and what is it that attracted you to these investments? Specifically, let's take Apimo for an example. What is it you look for in an investment?
It really depends on the investment. Actually, the first thing that we are looking for, of course, is to see like if the company is growing really fast. What is the market? What is the competition? And it really depends. When you invest in classifieds, usually what you are looking is for number one, where the luxury to be in that place with Immoweb. If when you go for example to the software market, the real estate software market, you're not looking especially to the number one. You are looking for the software which is growing internationally, and that's the case of Apimo. Most of the software, if I go back to the software, most of the software are really local. There are no software who are international, and Apimo is in this luxury position, and it's fast growing. Yeah.
Okay, and just how important are the people behind these companies? Is it a case that you're sort of investing in people rather than investing in models?
Yes, of course. People are really, really important, of course. So we are always looking at the team, and we need to have like a perfect fit with the team. It's really important, and it's also important to help the team be able to grow faster. And that's where I think, for instance, I have a lot of added value, is that I know and I'm used to take companies to the next step and explain to them, small companies to being bigger. I had the chance to work in a family environment with a really small company at the beginning. At the beginning, we were just like 5. At the end, we're like today we are like more than 100, 130 or something like that. And now it's part of a really big company. So with private equity funds and so on in the capital. So it's totally different, and I'm used to both of these environments.
Okay. In your opinion, is there maybe a slightly different set of things that investors might be looking for in the online marketplaces, online classifieds market, compared to, let's say, for example, the software market?
Definitely, when you are looking in the classified, the online classified market, usually you are looking for the number one, because the price of the number one and the price of the number two is like totally different. And it has to do also with the fact that when you there is usually there is just like one number one in each country. There are some countries where you have like we have 2 or 3 different players that are really close to each other, but it's really rare.
Okay. I want to move on a little bit to your experience with Immoweb when Axel Springer came. So as you mentioned there, in 2012, Axel Springer came along to buy Immoweb. I want to talk about what back then was seen as maybe the advantages and maybe potentially some of the disadvantages of having one of these massive classifieds operators, or in this case, massive publisher, come in and take over the portal.
Yeah, actually, the experience with Axel Springer was really, really nice from the beginning. It was in 2012. It was already in the early stage of Axel Springer in the online classified market, and they at the beginning they were like they left us alone. So we had board like every quarter, just doing some reporting, and they let us do our job. What was important for them, and I think that is something that's really important, and that's what we were doing also in the acquisition or in the participation that we are taking, is that we want to keep the entrepreneurial spirit within the company. So when they did the investment, they didn't came with like 100 guys saying, okay, we are going to change everything. They say, okay, you know, and the team knows what's the best for the company. So we leave you in that way. And that's where we actually were able to grow even faster, because we were like, we had the best of the two worlds. So we, on one side, we were able to take a lot of different initiatives to grow the business. And on the other side, we had like official board with people with head that are well done and giving really good advice. And with that, we were able to grow even faster.
Okay, interesting. So you mentioned that you're advising other companies, so Cian in Russia and a few others. What would be your attitude, or what would be your advice? Let's say if you were advising another classifieds business and another big operator such as, Axel Springer or Adevinta or one of these came along looking to invest, what would your advice be? Would it be, as you said, if they let you get on with it, then great? Or is it a case-by-case thing?
No, I would say that my advice is to be always, and that's something that sounds easy, but it's really difficult. It's always to be surfer-oriented in opposition to customer-oriented. So a lot of portals do what the real estate agents want, and that for me is a big, big mistake. What portals need to do is what the surfer wants, because when they satisfy the surfer, then it comes back. And there are a lot of different examples where the portal do not follow and do not go to the surfer direction, and in opposition go to the real estate position. If I just take an example, the address of the property, in the portal, people are looking to have the address. But a lot of portals today in Europe are not providing the address because the real estate agent doesn't want to show the address. And so example like this, there are like a lot of different examples. So same thing about the price. Real estate agents, sometimes they don't want to show the price. A portal shouldn't accept any property without price. If you don't want to put the price, you wouldn't you wouldn't be able to advertise it, and that's it.
Interesting. Okay, so this leads me on quite nicely to my next question. So we've seen recently how, in this case, Axel Springer has been investing in these companies with models and technologies that do disrupt the traditional agency business model. So I think they've invested in Purple Bricks, they've invested in a few others. My first question is, how do they get away with it? I mean, sort of if I were to look at the UK market, if estate agents found out that, let's say, the owner of Zoopla had been investing in, let's say, Purple Bricks, there would be a riot, you know, in the industry. It seems interesting to me, at least, that Axel Springer, as a portal operator, can get away with investing in these disruptive technologies. And I guess the second follow-up question is, do you think we can expect to see more of these big portal operators, such as Axel Springer, investing in companies that disrupt the models of some of their clients?
Mm-hmm. So it's always interesting to see, to invest in disruptive model, and I think Axel Springer was right to start to invest in disruptive model usually in other countries. Didn't invest in Belgium, didn't invest in France in disruptive model, just to learn how they are working and to see if we could do more. All the portals today are looking to have, like, and you know this big sentence, it's to be closer to the transaction.
Yeah, I know that sentence very well.
So everyone is looking to be closer to the transaction, and so that's why all the portals need to test different things, and this hybrid agent or this online agent, it's something that a portal should try at some point or should understand. And if we look at, and to answer the second part of your question, today most of the big portals are in the hands of private equity funds, and I think they have no problem to invest in other business model close to that to build the model. So I would say that 5 years ago, something like that, it was like a lot of people were mentioning, like, is Axel Springer crazy about investing in hybrid agent? And I think today it's part of the market, and it's kind of normal to do so.
Okay, interesting. So you're saying it's being normalized now, and okay.
Yeah.
So how do you see the next maybe 12 to 18 months in the world of investment in online marketplaces, online classifieds companies? Is it the case that we maybe see more investment money going to these disruptive technologies? Or do you think there's still an appetite to fund businesses that are essentially pure intermediaries that just put the buyer in touch with the broker?
I would say that it really depends on the market. If we are in Europe or in emerging markets, it really depends on where we are. A big trend today is it's to work on seller's lead.
Okay.
Because when we look at the business model of Meilleur Agent in France, we see that they were like the first one to be able to catch that market, and now within the group of Axel Springer, we are spreading that in all the different countries, and we are not the only one. I know that they are doing that in other countries also where Axel Springer is not present. The seller leads is really important because it could up to double the size of the market.
Okay. Well, Christophe, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to me today. I really appreciate it. And hopefully one of these days in the not too distant future, maybe we'll get to meet in person at a Property Portal Watch event.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.